One of the key reasons Amazon businesses fail is lack of cash flow. Having a clear and detailed understanding of one's own profits and losses can go a long way in addressing this issue. You'll be surprised to hear that more than 90% of the Amazon brands and aggregators that we work with had very little understanding of their own profits and losses. They had limited visibility into their key cost drivers. This becomes all the more critical in the context of a marketplace such as Amazon because of cost drivers such as marketplace commission, FBA fees, warehouse handling fees, damage handling charges, and so on. These costs can escalate very quickly and derail the entire business if not enough attention is paid to them regularly. Hi, I'm Sharad from Saras Analytics, and in this video, we're going to talk about what a P&L statement is in the context of Amazon, right? What are the key components of a P&L statement? Why is it so complex to put one together on Amazon? What are key benefits of monitoring your profits and losses on a regular basis? And finally, how we at Saras Analytics can help you put a P&L statement together very quickly. A profit and loss statement is also called an income statement. The key components of a P&L statement are net sales, contribution margin 1, which is also called as operating margin, contribution margin 2, and finally your net profit or net margin. Net sales is calculated from taking your gross sales and from that subtracting your promotions, your tax, and gift wrap charges. From your net sales, you subtract your shipping costs and product costs to get your operating margin, which is also called as contribution margin 1 in some businesses. From your contribution margin 1, you remove all the marketplace related charges such as Amazon commission, marketplace fees, FBA, fulfillment fees, warehouse handling, damage handling charges, promotion reimbursement charges, and so on. And you arrive at your contribution margin 2. And finally, from your contribution margin 2, you subtract your marketing or advertising costs to arrive at your net margin or net profits. One of the main reasons for this is the sheer number of data sources available to pull this information from. More often than not, these data sources are within the Amazon ecosystem, and still the numbers across these data sources do not match with each other. And there is a good reason for it. For example, let's take total sales. Seems straightforward, right? You can obtain your total sales from orders report as well as from your business reports on Amazon. But the total sales across these two reports do not match with each other. And that could be because of your mix between B2C and B2B sales, or your FBA and FBM fulfillment channels. One of the reports can take into account your pending orders, your cancelled orders and returns, while the other report doesn't, and so on. So, depending on your use case, depending on the business problem that you're trying to address, you need to pick the data from a certain source. Similarly, your shipping costs or your product costs, they lie in a system that is external to Amazon. They are probably sitting in your ERP system or probably in a CSV on a file server. Similarly, your marketing information needs to come from Amazon Campaign Manager, data related to your sponsored products, sponsored brands, or sponsored display and video. And finally, the data related to your marketplace costs, such as Amazon commission, warehouse damage handling fees, fulfillment fees, reimbursement charges, and so on. This information sits within Amazon, but across different data sources such as settlement reports or transactions date range reports, or it could be fee preview reports, and so on. Again, which data source to pick from really depends on the use case and the business problem that you're trying to address. So we at Saras use our proprietary ETL tool called Data to connect to over 100 different data sources and pull the information that is required and build the P&L report. On the screen here, you can see one such report that we have put together for demo purposes. On the left side here, you see the P&L statement and you see different line items for each cost. On the top here, you can choose if you want to look at the view spread across different weeks or months or on a yearly basis. Top here you see total revenue, how many refunds have been issued, similarly your promotions, tax, shipping, gift wrap charges and so on. And then you have net sales after excluding your COGS. Again, this COGS is obtained either directly connecting to your ERP system or through a file server. You get your operational margin, and finally we have different line items that are related to marketplace. Line items are at an SKU level. Some of these only obtained at the end of a month or at end of 15 days depending on your settlement period with Amazon, such as reserved amount adjustment, or Amazon takes account of all the damages that occurred in the warehouse throughout the month, and at the end of the settlement period it reimburses you for these damages and so on. So all that information is stored here under the fees. And finally, we get net margin after removing marketing costs. On the top right here is where you can choose different brands across your portfolio and choose a date range. And here you can see what are your key cost drivers and how they've been trending over a time period. You can click on any of these costs and the entire dashboard filters and shows information just for that cost driver. On the right here you can see product level information on how each product is contributing to your overall bottom line. So a few of the key features of this dashboard are that it is fully customizable. So you can customize the entire logic that went into calculating each of these line items, each of the margins. For example, you want to add a new cost item in the calculation of net margin, or you want to remove a particular line item, that's always possible. Similarly, the UI itself is entirely customizable. If you want to view a particular metric in a different way of representation, that's always possible with a matter of few clicks. And the entire solution itself is white labeled. And secondly, the dashboard is fully automated, right? Once the initial setup is done, very little manual intervention is required. Even when you add a new brand to your portfolio or you launched in a new marketplace, in a matter of few clicks, you can connect to the new data source and automatically the data flows through the pipeline and ends up in the dashboard. We can also set it up in such a way that you get a daily report card to your inbox in the morning. So you have your finger on the pulse of the business on a day-to-day basis. So one of the key benefits of monitoring your P&L regularly is the organic collaboration that happens between business functions. So it is always very interesting for us to witness the discussions or collaboration that happen between finance and operations teams. One of the cases that happened recently was finance team was looking at the P&L statement and they were focused on the working capital, the amount of inventory sitting in the warehouses, and they want to bring it down naturally. While the operations team want to stock up in the anticipation of the demand increase in the coming sales period. So that level of collaboration is encouraged by P&L statement.